E fala aí pessoal, tudo beleza? Aqui quem fala é o Mino, aqui do canal Minotauro SKS, para apresentar para vocês. E eu estou aqui continuando a série aqui do canal de Vampire. Além disso, se inscreva no canal, deixe seu like se você gostou do vídeo. E além disso, se você perdeu o episódio anterior, os cards vão estar aqui em cima no lado direito, tá? Então, para que isso aconteça, simbora! Vamos conversar com Edgar Swanson sobre o sangue de Hesvan Vanzit, tá bom? Não perca o episódio passado, porque teve novidades sobre vários doutores.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I never saw symptoms like this when I was in France. Not at all.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
Eu acredito que esse cara, ele, na verdade, ele quer imortalidade, mas não a questão de tomar sangue. Ele é fascinado, o jeito ele é fascinado pela imortalidade. Ele acredita que a imortalidade será, digamos, uma cura para tudo. É o que ele acredita, pelo jeito que ele está agindo. Cheguei a considerar: Londres pode se tornar meu reino. A gente poder colocar esse caminho e demonstrar um jeito mais maléfico. Perigoso demais. Isso aqui vai interferir também na história, tá? Então, essas três decisões eu vou ter que tomar cuidado. Como eu quero curar o máximo de gente possível,
But the risk of infection using vampire blood could compound the situation.
I know, but your blood now carries remarkable regenerative properties.
propriedade.
With our
É o que eu
minds
disse.
and your blood, there's nothing we couldn't cure.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
É que o cara não sabe o que foi a gente. Ao funeral de Mary. Infelizmente ele não sabe o que aconteceu. Carta de Hanson e Shadan, depois a gente vai saber mais sobre a história. Tá. Vá até o cemitério. Antes da gente fazer, a gente vai ler os files que eu peguei no episódio passado e um desse, tá? Porque é útil, ó. Sombro, tá? Antigas criaturas de Ascan e a grande caçada glória aos camaradas de Faran, se foram. Mas vamos ver se falha aqui. Chave, prontuário do Goswick, lista do Dr. Stronkel, relatório sobre Pembroke, bilhete dos botineiros, missão de inspeção, carta de Darius Petrovsky. Ó, esses aqui a gente já leu. Agora o bilhete dos botineiros, eu li esse daqui, ó, que era do rapaz que morreu. Relatório de Pembroke, que é da missão secundária. Esse daqui, lista do Dr. Stronkel, que é aquele lá do ópio. A chave dele, o prontuário do Goswick. Aqui, ó. Paciente Mortimer Goswick, sexo masculino, 23 anos, médico responsável do Dr. Eckworth, estado em recuperação. Data de admissão, a ser definida, observação, paciente de muitos sinais de fadiga, extrema inflamações na garganta, boca e língua, mas nenhum sinal de gripe. Recusa-se a falar, afirma que muito doloroso. Descanso e regeneração da membrana mucosa da garganta não são necessárias antes que sua liberação seja discutida. Tá, o prontuário, agora a carta que eu peguei ali, tá? Carta de Haskes Chandler. Hospital Pembroke, 4 de agosto. Caro Dr. Swanson, será um prazer garantir um necrotério temporário assim que ele for inaugurado. Como já lhe disse, atuei como médico de campo durante a guerra e ficaria honrado em servir meu país novamente. Sei que ser médico para os mortos não é o mesmo para os mesmos que os vivos, mas também em nosso dever escolher aqueles que se foram e cuidar bem deles. Garanto que darei o melhor de mim para realizar essa nova função, mas máximo de competência também. Quanto às minhas qualificações, sinto muito por não poder fornecer nada mais valioso do que minha palavra. Juro que fui médico em meu regime durante a guerra, que eu salvei com muitas vidas na função. Se minha palavra não for bastante, peço que entre em contato com a administração do exército para verificar minha experiência e minhas habilidades. Tá? Eles confirmarão que, mesmo eu não tendo ingressão nos estudos da medicina, eu aprendi na guerra que tudo um médico realmente precisa saber. Atenciosamente, Haskin Shannon, ex-médico. Olha que interessante. Sobre novas pistas sobre o médico. Ele não é necessariamente médico, porque ele mesmo diz que eu não sou necessariamente médico. Então é interessante ter esse tipo de aspecto, saber mais sobre esse médico. É interessante. Vamos pro cemitério. Eu vou lá dar uma olhada na minha irmã. Vamos ver se alguém tá doente. Ó, todo mundo tá em recuperação. Só esse aqui que tá doente. Eu não tenho ainda...
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Ah, tá, é aqui. É aqui atrás. Opa. Tem algo aqui. Bregadinho. Eita, nós. É sério? Mesmo aqui os caras vêm e aparecem. Eu vou te devorar. Saiu voando. Opa. Mais balas. Balas são escassas nesse jogo, tá? Vamos ver, minha irmã.
Sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Ah, não. Tem bicho aqui ainda, mano. É sério. Tem bicho aqui. Tem scalper. Ah, não acredito. Tem scalper mesmo. Nossa. Tem ratos. Nossa, 2 scalper, mano. Um scalper furioso e um scalper. Então, cuidado. Eu teria que matá-lo rapidamente. Porque senão eu ia ter dor de cabeça de novo. Deixa eu dar uma olhada. Eu vou ir matando um por um porque vai dar dor de cabeça. Aqui, ó. Mano, são 2 scalpers. É legalzinho ficar atirando, mas... Eu vou usar o bastão que é mais seguro. Tem mais criaturas pra cá.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
A mãe dele, provavelmente.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
How is it possible? Tell me. Is it so easy to take a life every night, and then just smile and nod at those you spared?
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
Thank you, my lady. I will.
Good. But be careful. If I found you here, others may too.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Agora vamos pra igreja. Cara, você entende mais um pouco, tipo, você entende a situação do personagem, na qual o Jonathan está. Ele sente uma tristeza e um remorso. Opa, alguém apura. Onde? Ouvi um barulho. Alguém dizendo socorro. Vamos usar a visão pra gente poder saber onde. Manson Suburban. Vamos ver aqui. Skull Lepto. Esse Skull ele se teletransporta. Amostra de sangue intensa. Soro de rigor. Componentes bons de empunhadura. Preciso de 3, depois mais 6. Agora meu bastão tá com.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
All right. I shan't insist. Goodbye for now, sir.
I've heard so many bad things recently, almost
Ah, tá, entendi. As criaturas estavam aqui. Mason, enxaqueca. Mas não tem a cura da enxaqueca ainda.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood on the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Parece que ele é algum tipo de chefão.
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Cara chato. Vamos tomar um sanguinho. Vamos ver se a gente consegue pular ali. Não. Pelo jeito não. Não agora. Tem algumas criaturas brigando aqui.
I'd head back if I were you, sir. Best be moving on. Go on back.
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
This is not a place for you, sir. Sir, step away.
Ah, naquele lugar que eu não conseguia vir. Carmélia.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I wish I could forget all this.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Vamos ver nesse distrito se tem alguém com problemas. Enxaqueca. Enxaqueca. Só tem 2 que estão doentes. Um que eu matei. Mas ele poderia ter respostas. Aqui, ó. É uma missão desses 2 que eu tenho que resolver e desses 2. Vou resolver desse, tá? Entregar Albert Palmer, entregue a Albert Palmer ou Benjamin Palmer. Vou entregar pro Albert, tá? Vou falar com um garoto porque é mais fácil. Não é que é mais fácil. Joe. Vamos ver. Darius Petuski. Padre.
Soon the time will come when you
Desconhecido.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm a Harry, by the way.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Have you any recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I don't believe in miracles, but it seems the epidemic has been kept at bay for a few days.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Has been proven by many.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
You're being manipulated by these criminals. What's worse is that you're clever enough to know better.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Admit it. You stole the drugs to prove yourself to the gang.
Of course I did. The Wet Boot Boys got it sorted. Territory, respect, money. They'll take me in now.
Really? Are you sure about that? I don't see them.
I was supposed to meet one of their boys to prove I'm not a loser. Maybe something happened.
Goodbye, young man.
Be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
It's on to us! Away with you! Die, man! Die, vermin!
Remember you. Fear be gone.
Não temo, eu jamais faria mal a um filho de minha criação.
This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Tell me what you are.
I am the whitened bones and blackened soil. The land made blood coursing through thy veins.
What is it you seek?
This age is sinking. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave.
Então praticamente
So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Vamos fazer remédio para anemia, tá? Sepse, pneumonia, bronquite, anemia. Vamos fazer aqui um para anemia, pro rapaz lá. Vou descansar. Eu vou dar uma descansada. E evolução, né? Claro, é sempre bom. 190 de sangue, 220, 190, 250 de sombra. Sombra seus pés do inimigo após não explode e causa muito dano. Uma lança de sangue. Acho que eu vou usar lança. 1000. $1.300, cara. Aumentar a vida. Ah, tá. Resfriada. Resfriado. Vou ter que curar 2 resfriados. E ainda a enxaqueca do cara. Agora é enxaqueca, né? Parece que a doença dele tá piorando. Vamos ver aqui. É instável. Eu tenho que curar a fadiga dele também. Vixe. Aqui enxaqueca, anemia e enxaqueca. E esse distrito aqui eu não sei. Então, 2 resfriados e depois enxaqueca. Uma boa noite a todos. Vamos aqui. Sepse, fadiga, resfriado. Eu tenho que fazer 2. Bronquite, pneumonia. Vamos ver se eu posso melhorar. Bastão 145. Ele vai ficar 220 depois 300. Dano reforçado, aumenta o dano. Não tem muitas peças mesmo. Aumenta o atordoamento. Reduz o consumo de vigor. Ah, tá. É tipo aumento de pontos. Ah, tá. Eu gastei pra nada. Gastei o dobro, só que são coisas que só... Ah, bom que eu aprendi que ele só melhora alguns pontos. Não todos. Vamos lá falar encontrar o doutor. É uma briga.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
Sim, meu amigo, mas vamos ver os files primeiro, né? Tá, sucesso. A gente tem que fazer isso aqui também. Vamos ver nossos files então. Não. Deixa eu ver se tem mais algum file aqui. Carta de Henrique Shadana. Né, isso não tem a ver. Aqui, ó. Esqueci de ler isso aqui também, né? As antigas escrituras de Vroskolask. Uma cópia do artigo do endereço de Irmãos da História de São Paulo. Essa parte aqui eu vou ler, tá? Só um pouquinho. Não. Eu vou ler no finalzinho, tá, gente? Eu vou ler no final.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you, and your staff.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
O cara que a gente trouxe pra ser ajudado, ele se transformou.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Mas vamos dar uma olhada num quarto, né? Foi aqui, ó.
What on earth happened here?
Aqui, ó, vamos dar uma olhada. Isso foi durante o dia, aparentemente, ó. Ela foi atacada. O Thomas. Aqui, ó, sempre... Tá arrepiado, minha filha.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Tiroteio. Oh,
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Don't worry, sir. Everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to go and get some.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Podemos compartilhar a refeição.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols, or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Eu achei que foi o Clay, mano. Mas não, é o Hampton aqui. É o... rapaz. Era o padre. É, eles estavam próximos.